Hi there and welcome to this video. Did you know that HestiaCP has a built-in SMTP relay? So if your VPS provider is blocking certain email ports like port 25, then you can use the built-in email relay in HestiaCP. So for you to set up the relay, you can do it in two ways. First of all, you can set it up per domain. So if you're hosting multiple domains, you can set it up per domain that you're hosting on your HestiaCP server. You can also set up a global SMTP relay. Let's start with where you can set up the global SMTP relay. So first of all, go here. Make sure you're logged in as the admin on your Hestia panel, and then go into the settings, server settings. And then you want to come here under configure, server configurations. We want to go straight to mail server. So here under mail server, you can see, let me just make this larger. So here under mail server, you can set up global SMTP relay. If you just enable that, you will need a host, a port, username and password. And these are things that you can get from your SMTP provider. Let me do a quick example with Mailgun. So if you have to use Mailgun, this video will use Mailgun as well. The thing about global SMTP relay, you can add all the SMTP settings here, but your SMTP provider will probably not allow emails to be sent if a domain has not been verified on their end. So you'll have to go there and verify the email that you want to send with. I will come to Mailgun and we're going to try and get some of these details. So if I go into Mailgun, I will also increase the font this side. Sending. If you come here under sending, this is where you can add a domain to send via Mailgun. And if you've just created your account on Mailgun, you'll see there's this button for add new domain. So you have to add a domain that you want to use for sending mail. I do have a different Mailgun video. If you don't see this button, how you can make sure this button is showing up. That usually means that you've not added a credit card, so you won't have that button. So if I click to add a domain, I can add the DNS settings for that domain, and then I will use that domain on HestiaCP. But by default, Mailgun has given us this test for testing. So I will use the testing one to get the details that I need. When you're on Mailgun, you see you can send mail via API or via SMTP. So in this case, let's just select SMTP. So once you choose a domain, just click on it like I did, and then come here under SMTP. And once you select the SMTP, if you scroll down, you're going to see your SMTP details. So the host name is there. That is my host name. And I can add that back here on the server. So that will be my host name. Please note that the sample domain that I get on Mailgun cannot be used for sending mail outside. You have to have verified email addresses to send it. So if you're going to send to a certain email, you have to add that email as a verified email. So this cannot be used in production. But you can always add your domain, and I have a video for that. I will put the link in the description. If you don't find it, just let me know and I will add it. Sometimes I forget. You can also use Amazon SES, and you just need the hostname, port, username, and that. So that is the username. I'll put that there. The port is 587. And then the password. Let's come back. That is our password. Copy. I will put that there. And if you save, now your SMTP here should be working, but you probably won't be able to send mail because you still need to add DNS records. So what does that mean for you? It means that for me, I'm just doing a sample because I want to show you that it exists in a HestiaCP. But if you come here under domain, you can click there, add a domain. Let's just add an example here, example.com. Let's see if that's going to add. And then you can choose a region for the domain, the data center. And then I'm going to click there on add domain. So the domain cannot be added. Why don't we add example0.com? All right. So once you add that domain, you'll need to edit the DNS settings And the DNS records have been provided here. So you'll need a txt record, and then mx, and then there's also a CNAME record that you add on your DNS, whether it's Cloudflare, whatever. You need to add all these records for you to be able to send mail. Now, usually you'll find that you just don't want to add the mail on the global SMTP relay. Sometimes you just want to add it on a domain. So for that, let's come back into users. If you just want for a particular domain, go into the user with all your websites, or the user with the website that you want to add the SMTP relay for, and then you can come under mail. Let's go into mail, and then first of all, add the mail domain. If the domain that you want to work with mail doesn't exist under your mail, you can add the domain there, and you can see when you're adding the domain, there's also an option to add SMTP relay down there. So you can add the domain if it doesn't exist. But for this one, let's use this as an example. I'm just going to click on it, and you can edit mail domain. If you edit mail domain, you can enable SMTP relay for this domain only, and you'll add the host name, whether you're getting them from Amazon SES, SendGrid, wherever you're getting the details from, get them, put them there, save, and then you can start sending mail as long as you have added the DNS records as directed by your SMTP provider. Let's see how you can set up remote backup using the built-in Hestia backup system. So what you want to do is you want to log in to your panel via admin. If you're not admin, then you won't be able to set up the backups. You have to set it up as the admin user on your panel. So to do that, you will go into your settings, and then you'll come here under configure, and you can find backups. So you do have local backup, and then the directory. By default, your server will take them to backup. If you haven't changed this setting, that is the default. You can also set up remote backups. So let's click there on remote backups, and you can use FTP, SFTP, you can use rclone, but for this video, we want to use Backblaze. Backblaze provides affordable backup servers that you can use in this situation. Let's go to Backblaze, and what you may want is it cloud storage? Let's see if that's the one. And then you can get started with 10 GB free. So if you don't have an account, let's just create an account, put in your email there. And then sign up. I will just say, take me to my account, log into your account. So of course, increase the font. The first thing you want to do, you want to create a bucket, because if you come back here, you'll see that you need a bucket and the key ID for your bucket and the application key. And let's just create a bucket. This is where the backups for your server will be saved. The backup name, we can give it the name of our server. And then files in buckets are private or public. I'll leave it as private. Default encryption, you can enable. If you forget the key, you lose access to that. So you might disable that if it's not really that sensitive. And then you can put object lock, but since this is a backup, I'm just going to leave object lock on. You can enable it, but I'm going to disable that. And then I'm going to create the bucket. Oh, Saba, misspelled, but that's okay. You can edit the bucket settings. Apparently you cannot change the name. If you want to connect it to the HestiaCP, what details do we need? We need the bucket, the bucket name, and then your API keys. So let's open this in a new tab, application keys. So here, let's just generate a new key, generate a master key. And when you generate the key, you're going to get the key ID. You also have to copy that and save it somewhere, because you won't get that key shown to you again. So just paste it there. That, everything. And if it accesses the server, then you're going to see no problem. Let's just add here 0, and you'll see that it's going to fail the authentication. So you can see failed to connect. All right, let's come back and remove that 0. If everything else is right, it should connect. And you see changes have been saved. This means that HestiaCP is going to automatically back up all your users into Backblaze. The next time you want to find your backups, you can come to your bucket or you can browse files. So right now, there is nothing in my bucket, but tomorrow, if I come back, I should find something here. Let's just go and see if I try to, this is a small server. If I go to my backups, I create a backup. Let's see if it's going to upload it there. So just give it time, and then we're going to come back here into our bucket, refresh to see if we have any files inside here. So also note that when you're setting up the key, the new key here under application keys, you can actually set it up so that the key can only be used for that bucket. So if you come to application keys, down here you have add a new application key. You'll give the key a name and then allow access to a specific bucket. So that's something that is also helpful for security. For me, this is just a sample. I'm going to delete everything. As soon as I'm done with this tutorial, I'm going to delete all these details, all the keys and the bucket. As we wait for the backup, I want to show you where you can add the number of backups. Sometimes it's important to have more than one backup. To change that, you need to change it under your packages. So if you come into users and you go into packages, if you may be setting this up for your users, you can create another package, or if they're using the default package, just edit the default. And then in the default package down here, you have number of backups. And if you put 10 backups, that means that there will be 10 backups. So they will delete the last one, but the rest will remain. So you'll always have 10 backups. If you have a huge server space, you can even make them 30. That way you always have a backup for each day. But that is your preference, and it also depends on your server space and how much you're willing to pay for the backup space. So if I put there 3, I can save that. And if I come back here, oh, this is for the other user. If the other user, we go to the other user that is using the default package, you'll see that now they have, instead of 1 out of 1, they have 3 backups. So we can see that the backup, let's log out of that into the admin. We can see that the backup for admin has been done. There is 1 out of 1 backup. You can also increase the number of backups for the admin, but you probably don't have anything in admin. So let's come into the bucket and see if it has been uploaded or it's taking time, or how long will we wait for it to be uploaded. But just know that if you come into your buckets, you'll find your users, all the users in your server, their backups will be here. If you need to back up remotely, this is how you can do it. So just to recap, the first thing you have to do, you have to come here under server settings, go into configure, and then under configure, come here into backups. So if you don't want the local backup, you can also set up this one to no. So your server won't be filled with that, but of course I'm going to leave it at yes. And you just need to set up remote backup and then get the keys from there, and you're going to have your backups here. So I can delete this bucket by just coming here under bucket settings, and then you're going to scroll down. You're going to scroll down, and then you're going to click on delete bucket. Before deleting bucket, you must first delete all the files in the bucket. All right, what do we have in this bucket? Upload or delete. You can see that our backup has arrived. You can see that it's actually working. So if you go into admin, that's for admin, but the other one will also come. So just give it time. You'll find that the other one will also be uploaded. Admin and the other user, both of them will be uploaded. You can select and delete. it's refused to delete, probably because the other one is still coming in and there are some temporary files. But once everything is brought here, you can just delete them and delete the bucket. And I'm going to do that off of the video. I'm going to do that offline once the video is done. All right, that's pretty much covers it. If you have any question, just feel free to let me know. I will see how to assist you.